The views and opinions of this program presented by the host and guests do not reflect those of Bronc Radio TV nor the university. Welcome to another edition of the Political Hour. Today is Wednesday, March the 25th, 2015. I'm your host, Omar Jimenez, and today we have special guests here in our studio as we continue the series of candidates visiting here on the Political Hour on Bronc Radio. Today, we have candidates running for McAllen City Commissioner for District 6 in the southeast side of town. Here with me today is Veronica Whitacre, the incumbent for this race, and Eduardo De La Rosa, who is the challenger for this race, coming up on May the 9th. Thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate you having us here. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to start with introductions and a few questions, and then we'll end with some closing remarks to make this process smoother. So for the first question, it's just introductions will be for 2 minutes. So we'll start with Mrs. Whitacre.
Good afternoon. How are y'all this afternoon? My name is Veronica Vela Whitacre. I am your current McAllen City Commissioner for District 6. I'm there for 2 years, and I hope to be there for the next 4 years. So I am hoping for your support and looking for your votes in District 6. I am married with 2 children. I have a son that lives in San Antonio and a son that lives in Austin. And I have enjoyed being on the City Commission here in McAllen, and I look forward to the next 4 years. I have done quite a few things while I have been in office so far. I started the Run, Ride, and Share program, which is for your cyclists, your runners, your motorists, and everyone who shares the road. I also have a grant out there for call boxes that will be on the Bicentennial Trail and the 2nd Street Trail and at Bill Shoe Park. And along with everything else that that has taken place in the city with the renovation of the airport, the selling of the Civic Center, also the McAllen Convention Center. There's so much going on. We just signed with an architectural firm for the McAllen Baseball Complex. So much is taking place in this city, and I want to continue to be a part of it and to keep McAllen moving. And so I hope to represent you guys in the next 4 years. And thank you for having us here this afternoon.
Thank you, Mrs. Vela Whitacre. Mr. De La Rosa?
Thank you for having us here during your lunch break. I'm an alumni here. I graduated here from UT Pan American in 1997 with a degree in criminal justice. In addition to that, my public service started as a volunteer fireman for the Edinburgh Volunteer Fire Department. I served there for 4 years, having been recognized for 2 national tragedies that occurred here in the RGV, and we had a building collapse in Brownsville that made national news, and also the tragedy that occurred in Alton, which was a school bus accident where we lost 21 precious lives there. In addition to that, while I was attending school here, I ended up having to go back to the workforce because there was not enough money there. The Pell Grant ended for me, and obviously my parents could not afford to finance my education. I went back to workforce, worked at Walmart, and then shortly thereafter I got hired at McAllen PD in 1990. City of McAllen had a great program for education. After I got established about 4 years later, the City of McAllen paid my education the remaining 4 years, and that's how I ended up my degree. I served there for 20 years as a police officer and left at the rank of sergeant, and I'm pretty much indebted to the City of McAllen for the education opportunity and the opportunity that they gave me to serve the community. I've been there. I've served the community both at the very worst parts of town and even the nice areas of town. And to me, they're all equal. They all had different demands, and as a police officer and a sergeant, having head off the major crimes unit for good 4 years or more, I seem to be able to balance the needs of the community. I want to serve you as the commissioner for District 6 because at the advisory board for the McAllen Convention Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. De La Rosa. And we'll go ahead and begin our next question with you. What do you think are the issues in District 6 that need attention?
District 6, obviously, having been block walking, there's a lot of concerns as far as McAllen has a master plan, but having, it sounds great to have a master plan, but that master plan in some respect doesn't come back to the areas, the aging areas of McAllen. We need to work, also look at a basic plan. The basic plan is the quality of life for the residents that are already established there, not just looking at the new Forsyth McAllen plan that's going up north by Ware Road and Monte Cristo. Facilities, service. We used to have street sweepers go over in the area and clean up the streets. Alleys are very important. And basically, I just want to go back in there and just, with the community's support, try to focus on the quality of life issues there.
Thank you, Mr. De La Rosa. Mrs. Vela Whitacre, same question.
Could you repeat it, please?
What are some issues that you think that need attention in District 6?
Basically, all the districts are equal, and some do need more attention than others. I believe that District 6 is pretty well taken care of in terms of the streets being clean, the alleys being paved. We've had so much rain, which has been a blessing in the last couple of months, and that has not helped us because it does not help keep our streets clean, and some of the potholes are getting worse. The city is trying to keep up with that, but unfortunately they go on a dry day, take care of the potholes, and then 3 days later it rains again. You use the alley, and so it's just been a cycle. What I've asked them to do is just hold off for about 2 or 3 more weeks, and then let's take care of the residents, because unfortunately we're going to have rain again tomorrow. Otherwise, most of the city has been well taken care of. If they feel they're not taken care of, my phone is always available with me 24/7 for them to call me and say, I need help in this direction, and I will take care of them, or I will forward them to the person that does take care of that area so that they are taken care of.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the next question, and this one will be, how will you ensure that more businesses and development come to McAllen? And we'll start with you.
We have a lot going on right now. We've got quite a few hotels that are taking place over at the McAllen Convention Center, and with the selling of the Civic Center over on the corner of 10th and the Expressway, we are entertaining several of different entities that have wanted to come in, and so those two huge opportunities are going to help our economy tremendously. We've also got quite a few restaurants that are coming in the next few months. We've got a lot of growth that hopefully will be taking place over by the La Plaza Mall. So right now we've got a lot going on. We just sold the corner of Second and Dallas, which was an empty abandoned building, and that's taking it over and getting remodeled right now. So that's great for us also. So a lot is taking place. Another area that I was very, very concerned about is the hotel right by the Quinta Mazatlan. And right now we are in negotiations with what is going to take place there. So we are moving forward with McAllen and getting new businesses taking place. So we're very happy.
Thank you. Same question to you, Mr. De La Rosa.
I'm a great advocate of the McAllen Chamber of Commerce. I believe that their important role in the community, and partnering up with the city. They have a wealth of knowledge. We need to advocate and help them bring in extra businesses down here, whether it be the corporate level, Walmart, HEBs, things like that. But let's not forget the local business. The local business is also important in the community here, because those are the citizens that actually live here. In addition to that, the McAllen Economic Development Council needs to really, if we can get the McAllen Economic Development Council, City of McAllen, the McAllen Chamber working together, all as a team, and not that they haven't, but given a little bit more resources as far as taxpayer money to seek those businesses, I think we'll be doing a heck of a lot better here in the city.
Thank you, and we'll stick to you, Mr. De La Rosa. A major issue has been many tax increases from STC from the last bond election in 2013, and possibly for the McAllen ISD bond election coming up in May. How can you ensure that homeowners don't feel that they're paying higher taxes?
Well, I can't ensure them that because it's very evident from the talks that I've had the last several months. A lot of them are already strapped really tight, And it's unfortunate that when I was meeting with some of them, some of the families don't even know what they're going to eat in the evening because they're so budgeted with all this increase in taxes. The $45 million tax bond that passed this last year, well, we said that the taxes wasn't going to be raised. Well, that actually was true, but what happened was the appraisal property went up, and that in effect, the taxes did increase based on the appraisal. My property taxes, they went up a lot, and while I'm young and still, can afford to pay that little extra, I worry about the elderlies and those that don't have full-time jobs, just part-time jobs, and try to make ends meet at the end of the day.
Thank you. Mrs. Vela Whitacre, the same question. How would you ensure that homeowners are not paying high taxes from the different entities in this local region?
All of the different bonds that have taken place in the last couple of years, unfortunately, they came one right after the other. That is correct. And then we have a large one in front of us at this point. That decision is not mine. That decision is our voters' decision. They need to go out and vote, and they need to be able to vote for what they can afford. And so they need to make the decision on if they can afford it, then they can vote yes. If they can't afford it, then that's the decision that they need to make. So really, we cannot make that decision for them. It's their decision and their opportunity to go out and vote.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Vela Whitacre. Speaking about taxes, this next question. Many Texas lawmakers are proposing property tax cuts, and some have proposed of doing away with property tax and replacing it with a higher sales tax. If they get their way, how would it affect the city revenue-wise?
Well, we depend on all the taxes that come into the city as revenue, so I think they just need to leave it alone because we've got great businesses going on and we do get a lot of sales taxes, yes we do, but at the same time we've got a lot of property and a lot of rooftops in McAllen, and so we depend on that also. So in my decision, I believe that we just need to leave it alone.
Thank you. Mr. De La Rosa, the same question to you.
I would agree. Governor Abbott and they're obviously trying to cut down on taxes. And while that may seem like the greatest idea and for the citizens a sense of relief, at the present time, we need to remain with the same structure right now, especially when it deals with education. Increasing sales taxes, obviously, I think that's a local issue. And even if we raise it here locally, I mean, McAllen's, again, I said, and I'll repeat it again, it's the greatest city south of San Antonio. It's a destination to come shop. If the shoppers need to pay a little bit more, I'm sure there's a willingness to do so, but I don't think that should be a priority right now. We just need to continue with our services and budget with some restraint, work with the budget, and try to make the best out of everything that we have today.
Thank you very much, Mr. De La Rosa. The next question, and we'll begin with you. How can the City of McAllen support UTPA and UTRGV when it opens in the fall?
We've already had some programs that have been initiated, and a lot of it is through private partnerships, and obviously seeking the partnerships of the hospitals. We can come up with some extra fundings because obviously they're the ones that are going to be the employers of these students once they recruit them. But regarding the support, we need to have these the medical staff ready, or the businesses and the hospitals ready to pay these graduates fair wage. I don't believe right now we have a lot of graduates that are graduating, and I mean it's awesome. It's awesome that they end up graduating, but I don't believe that this area right now is paying graduates what they deserve and what should be common in other areas. So private partnership is very important, and we should continue to seek that time.
Thank you, Mrs. Vela Whitacre. The same question. How can UTRGV and McAllen benefit from support from the City of McAllen?
in September of 2014, we broke ground on a research center on the corner of Dove and McCall. And that research center sits in McAllen, which will be one of the entities, one of the buildings that takes all care of all the residents that are going to be at part of RGV. So we've already built a relationship, and we already were committed financially to some of the RGV Medical School. And so we are already in partnerships, and we just need to continue our partnership with them. And again, we do need to make sure that both of our hospitals are part of that partnership, because we are going to have so many residents taking resident medical students in the program, and hopefully they'll be able to rotate through all three hospitals.
All right. Well, we're going to end here with our last question here. This will be our closing remarks, which is the best way for the two of you to pursue voters and get people on your side. So we're going to have 2 minutes for this question, and we'll begin with Mrs. Vela Whitacre.
I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to us this afternoon, and for the opportunity to be here at UT Pan Am's Bronx radio station. It's good for me to be able to see Mr. Fred Mann. He was my teacher at McAllen High School, so it's good to be back with him once again. I do want to urge everyone to go out and vote, and to make sure that your voice is heard, and to make sure that you choose the candidate that you feel best takes care of each and every one of you and the citizens of McAllen. So early voting starts April 27th, and it ends on May 4th, and then voting day is May 9th. So I do urge each and every one of you to come out and support us, to support me, and let me continue to be your commissioner for the next 4 years. So I hope that I have been heard today, and my door is open anytime for you guys to call, and I will listen and take care of each and every one of you. And I want to keep McAllen moving.
Thank you, Mrs. Vela Whitacre. Mr. De La Rosa, 2 minutes.
As I said at the beginning of this interview, I've served the city of Edinburgh as a volunteer firefighter for 4 years. I actually put my life on the line during those 4 years, just on a voluntary basis. I was born and raised with that type of background. My parents instilled on all of my brothers and sisters from there, city of McAllen. And it's a touching story that I say that I had 2 occasions where I almost got killed in the line of duty. God was with me, and I continue to serve. And at this point, I'm taking on, just another chapter in my life. I'm wanting to serve in a different capacity. I'm not one that is shy about making decisions. I made life and death decisions as a police officer and a sergeant. And I feel that I have that mental capacity and the talent to continue to serve as a commissioner in District 6. I've served on several boards with the city at the moment, and I've stayed involved. I've served on several state boards, and I'm not a rookie coming into this. There's no training that needs to be done here. I'll just pick up where I'm at, and obviously there's some things that need to be learned that I'm not privileged to at the moment. But by you voting for me, I can guarantee you that you're going to have representation. Doesn't matter what side of the district you live, you're going to have representation. If you have any questions, I can be reached at 956-212-9686. That's my personal cell phone. We talk about transparency. I've given you my number. Now, I'm willing to take your calls at any point, and maybe go to your house and visit with you regarding any concerns you may have around the city, especially District 6. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, candidates, for coming on the show.
Thanks.
And we'll be back with more on the Political Hour on Bronx Radio. We want to thank you again for coming on. These are the candidates running for McAllen City Commissioner for District 6. The incumbent, Veronica Vela Whitacre, the incumbent, and the challenger, Eduardo De La Rosa. Election day is May the 9th. We'll be back. The views and opinions of this program presented by the host and guests do not reflect those of Bronx Radio TV nor the university.